Jimmy Butler is widely considered one of the best NBA players that has not yet won a championship. So today we're taking things back to the 2016-17 season and rebuilding the Jimmy Butler-led Chicago Bulls. Of course, the goal will be to win Jimmy a championship, and the video cannot end until we do so. Before we even start simulating, I will be pulling off trades, bringing in some better talent that could help our team's future. Plus, we also have our own 2017 first round pick, so what we could do this season is tank, lose as many games as possible, and end up with a lottery pick to draft ourselves a player like Jason Tatum or Donovan Mitchell. I threw Dwayne Wade in Trade Finder, and the Nuggets are offering us Jamal Murray. This is a trade that will definitely help out our team's future a ton. We could get ourselves our future point guard in Jamal Murray when we only got to send away a 34-year-old Dwayne Wade. So I will be pulling off this trade for the first trade of this video. In trades, what I am looking for is young players that we could develop to be a part of our future, and Clint Capella is definitely someone I could see staying here in the long run. So what we're going to be doing is pulling off a trade with the Houston Rockets where we send them Rajon Rondo, Nikola Mirotic. In return, we bring in Clint Capella and Nini. The final trade I will be pulling off is with the Brooklyn Nets where we send them Nini, Taj Gibson, and a second round pick. In return, we bring in Bojan Bogdanovic, who's a really good three-point shooter, so I do see him being a part of our future, and we also land ourselves Shane Kilpatrick. And here is our rotation for the remainder of this season. So in the starting lineup, we have Jamal Murray, Jimmy Butler, Bojan Bogdanovic, Bobby Portis Jr., and Clint Capella. And then off the bench, we have Doug McDermott, Cristiano Felicio, Sean Patrick, and Michael Carter-Williams. Before we simulate till the end of this season, I would really appreciate it if y'all could drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Bojan Bogdanovic wants to sign a contract extension with our team, so I'm going to go ahead and extend him for the next 5 seasons, paying him about $3.8 million annually, which he goes on to happily accept. At the end of this season, Stephen Curry goes on to win an MVP, Ben Simmons, Rookie of the Year, Jared Sixman, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Defensive Player, Nikola Jokic, Most Improved, Steve Kerr wins Coach of the Year, and the Warriors also win Executive of the Year. Here are the awards. None of this really matters for us because I don't believe we're going to have any players here, but that is all right. Let's go ahead and simulate past the playoffs and see who goes on to win the championship. And obviously, we did not make the playoffs, but the Warriors go on to win the championship with Stephen Curry winning Finals MVP. We ended this season being the worst team in the entire league, which is exactly what I had hoped for. Now we'll have the best odds at ending up with the first overall pick. It is now time for the draft lottery. Let's see where we end up in the 2017 NBA draft. Of course, we do have the best odds at ending up with the first overall pick, but in the past, whenever I had the best odds, it always ends up falling below a top 3. So if that happens, that would suck. I do hope it at least stays in the top 3. Let's go ahead and skip to the lottery results and see where we end up. And this time we end up with a first overall pick. Okay, I will take it. So we did not file down. We land the first overall pick, which means we could draft ourselves a Jason Tatum or Donovan Mitchell. We do also end up with a 29th overall pick via the Sacramento Kings, so that means we will be getting ourselves 2 new rookies in this NBA draft. I would also like to upgrade our head coach. Currently we have this dude here, Fred Hoiberg, but we could sign somebody like Don Nelson or Doc Rivers. And it looks like we do end up with Doc Rivers as our brand new head coach going in the future. I believe this is a really good addition to our team. It is now time for the 2017 NBA draft where we have the first overall pick. Let's see which player we're going to go on to draft. And of course, we're going to draft Jason Tatum. I don't even have to think this over. We need ourselves a new starting small forward. Jason Tatum could be the perfect player we need to pair up with Jimmy Butler. The Hornets have the second overall pick. Let's see who they take, and they go on to take Lauri Markkanen. The Lakers have the third overall pick, and they will take Lonzo Ball just like they did in real life. With our 29th overall pick, we're able to draft Derek White, which is insane. He goes on to become one of the best 3-and-D players in the league, so of course, we're going to go ahead and draft him and have him be a part of our future as well. We have finished the 2017 NBA draft. We end up with 2 players that are playing a huge role in real life on the Boston Celtics, but now they will be doing so here with the Chicago Bulls. For team player options, I will be picking up the team option on Clint Capella, Bobby Portis Jr., Shane, and Doug McDermott. You guys are not going to believe it. We have a max slot open on our team to sign a player like Stephen Curry, KD, or Chris Paul. That is absolutely insane. I did not know we were going to have this much flexibility in free agency, but it looks like we do. I will be offering a contract to Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, and Chris Paul. If none of the three do accept our deal, that is alright because we will spend that same money to sign ourselves multiple role players to bring in on our team. And sadly, in free agency, Curry, KD, or Chris Paul did not sign with us. They decided to go sign with other teams. So what I'm planning on doing is trying to sign ourselves Gordon Hayward, other role players. We could possibly use Gordon Hayward and his contract in a trade to bring in a different player. In free agency, we go on to sign Gordon Hayward on a 4-year, $100 million contract. We also signed Otto Porter Jr., Festus Ezeli, and Michael Carter Jr. This offseason, I will most likely be looking forward to flipping Gordon Hayward and bringing in a new starting power forward. I threw Gordon Hayward and Festus Ezeli in Trade Finder, and the Miami Heat are offering us a perfect trade where we land ourselves Hassan Whiteside, one of the best defensive big men in the league, and we also bring in Chris Bosh, who brings championship experience. So I'm going to be pulling off this trade with the Miami Heat, where we send them Gordon Hayward, Festus Ezeli, and Otto Porter Jr. for Bosh and Whiteside. And here we are at the start of this season with the new and upgraded 9-man rotation. So in our starting lineup, we have ourselves Jamal Murray, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Chris Bosh, and Hassan Whiteside. And then off the bench, we have Bobby Portis Jr., Joe Ingles, Clint Capella, and Derek White. I did sign Joe Ingles in free agency on a 2-year, $12 million contract. He's a pretty good perimeter defender, plus he's a good 3-point shooter as well. Let's simulate the first few games with our new team and see how we do. The first game is up against the Washington Wizards, and we go on to defeat them 127-92. Jimmy had 25. Hassan Whiteside in his Bulls debut drops 18 points and 17 rebounds. Bosh with a 17-point double-double as well. Let's see if we can also go on to defeat the 76ers and the Indiana Pacers, and it looks like we go on to defeat both teams, scoring 142 points against the Pacers. Butler went off with 39, Jamal Murray with 31, Whiteside with 18, Clint Capella with 12. Now I believe this season our team will be a lot better than the season prior, and don't you forget, Jason Tatum is still only a rookie, so each offseason he gets better, our team will get better as well. Let's take a look at the system proficiency. So we are rolling with a 3.5 star overall system proficiency balanced under our brand new head coach, Doc Rivers. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, but if there's any trades to be made, I'll stop at the trade deadline to show you all. We're stopped here at the contract extension day, and Jimmy Buckets wants to sign a contract extension, so we're going to go ahead and extend him for the next 2 seasons where we pay him $26 million annually, and he goes on to happily accept. At the end of this season, Russell Westbrook goes on to win an MVP, Calvin Rookie of the Year, Dion Waiters, 6th Man, Kawhi Leonard, Defensive Player, Murray goes on to win Most Improved Player, averaging 21 points per game. Our head coach, Doc Rivers, wins Coach of the Year, and we also go on to win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections. We do land Jimmy Buckets on All-NBA second team. It looks like that will be it for awards, unless we get someone here on an all-defensive team. We do also land Jimmy Buckets on all-defensive second team. That is what I'm talking about. No Derek White, but that is okay because we ended this season being the number 1 seed, winning 75 games and losing only 7. No team in the regular season was able to slow us down. Hopefully we're able to take that momentum into the playoffs. Before that, let's take a look at the player stats. So our leading scorer was Jimmy Buckets, averaging 31 points per game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 56% from the field. Murray was averaging 21 points per game, 16 from Bosh, 14 from Whiteside, and 12 from Jason Tatum. He had himself a pretty good rookie season. Did he make an all-rookie team? No, he didn't, which is kind of a surprise because he did play pretty good for his rookie season. 11 from Bobby Portis Jr. And now it is playoff time. In the first round, we will be taking on the Brooklyn Nets, who have themselves Stephen Curry. So it looks like the Nets were the team that signed Stephen Curry in free agency, and he decided to join them over our team. They also have Brook Lopez. And this is going to be their bench unit. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us. Murray dropping 30, Butler with 26, and 18 from Bosh. Game number 2 also goes to us. Playoff Jimmy with 24, Bosh with 24, and Whiteside with a 21-point double-double. We win game 3, and we go on to sweep Stephen Curry and the Brooklyn Nets. Let's see how Jimmy Buckets has been doing. So far, he's averaging 27 points per game with 5 assists and 2.5 steals per game. Jamal Murray has been huge for us as well in the playoffs and in the regular season. He's the perfect second option we needed on this team. Now in the second round of the playoffs, we are going to be taking on LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have Kyrie Irving, Wayne, LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson. They were the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Game number 1 goes to us. Playoff Jimmy drops 40 points on LeBron. Game number 2 also goes to us. And what did I just click there? Okay, so let's see how Jimmy did here. Dropping 37 points. Whiteside with 29 and 14. He's been playing amazing here in the playoffs. Game number 3 will go to us, and we go on to sweep LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And now in the Eastern Conference Finals, we will be taking on the Boston Celtics, who have themselves Isaiah Thomas, Jaylen Brown, Jay Crowder, Kyle Kuzma, and Al Horford. Their starting lineup is pretty good. They were the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. Game number 1 will go to the Celtics. They defeat us here 117 to 116. Let's see how game 2 goes. We end up winning game 2. Jimmy drops 40 points. Game number 3 will go to the Celtics. They win here 118 to 102. Butler dropped 25-26 from Murray. I did adjust some of our player shot tendencies. Let's see if that's going to help us win these next few games. Game number 4 will go to us, and now we tie up the series. Butler had 33, Whiteside with 27, 21 from Murray. We ended up winning here by 4 points. Game number 5 also goes to us. Let's go. Jimmy drops 25, Murray with 19. Can we defeat the Celtics here in game 6? I believe this is game 6, where the Celtics have home court advantage. So far, we do have the lead. They take it right from us, and they end up winning this game by 3 points. Butler had 28, but sadly, it will be going to game 7, and hopefully we can win here to advance to the NBA Finals. We will have home court advantage on our side, and so far, we are getting blown out. It looks like we will be losing to the Boston Celtics, and just like that, we have been eliminated. That truly does suck. Butler had 20, 16 from Tatum. That truly does suck, but we still have a really young team. Our players are only going to continue getting better and better, so I believe our team will have a better shot at winning a title next season with the progression of Jason Tatum and Jamal Murray. In the NBA Finals, we have the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Celtics, and the Celtics going to sweep the Spurs, winning a championship with Isaiah Thomas winning Finals MVP. And here is a little rundown of the playoffs. We played a total of 15 games, and in those 15 games, our leading scorer was Jimmy Butler, averaging 30 points per game, 19 from Murray, 16 from Bosh, and 16 from Whiteside. With the 30th pick in the 2018 draft, I went ahead and drafted us Robert Williams III. Clint Capella will be a free agent, so if he decides to leave, now we have ourselves Robert Williams. I will be picking up the team option on Jamal Murray, Bobby Portis Jr., but this dude here, we could let walk. He hasn't been a part of our rotation, so we do not need him on this team. Qualifying offers, we do need to re-sign Doug McDermott and Clint Capella. We should have bird rights on them, but let's see how much money they're asking for. So Clint Capella wants about $10 million, $8.4 million, and $6 for McDermott, which he will not be getting. In free agency, we go on to sign Kyle Korver, Mo Williams, and Clint Capella. So Capella does end up signing back with our team on a 5-year, $38 million contract. Okay, we have ourselves an insane trade offer from the Cleveland Cavaliers. I threw Chris Bosh in Trade Finder, and they're offering us Kevin Love for Chris Bosh and a second-round pick. There's no way we're passing up on this offer. This past season, he was averaging 19 points per game, 13 rebounds, while nearly shooting 40% from the three-point line. Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. We are ready for this up-and-coming season. There was a lot of progression from the younger players. Jamal Murray has gone up to an 88 overall, Jason Tatum an 85. So in our starting lineup, we have Jamal Murray, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Kevin Love, and Hassan Whiteside. And then off the bench, we have Bobby Portis Jr., Joe Ingles, Clint Capella, and Derek White. Let's simulate the first week of this season to see how our team does. We do have 3 games, and we beat the Heat, we beat the 76ers, and the Detroit Pistons. We held the Miami Heat here to 80 points. Butler dropped 40. Kevin Love in his debut, 25-point double-double. Tatum with 21, Murray with 20. And this time around, we will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency balanced under Doc Rivers. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season. If there is any trades to be made, which I highly doubt, I will stop here at the trade deadline to show you all. Okay, this is insane. We have not lost a single game, and as soon as I said that and started recording, we lost our first game here to the Milwaukee Bucks 130 to 119. But before that, we were undefeated all the way up until the Milwaukee Bucks on December 29. At the end of this season, our boy Jimmy Butler goes on to win his first ever MVP, averaging 30 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals on 50, 40, 86 shooting splits. That is what I'm talking about. Luka Doncic goes on to win Rookie of the Year, Eric Bledsoe 6-man, Giannis Antetokounmpo wins Defensive Player, Lonzo Ball Most Improved, our head coach Doc Rivers once again wins Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive of the Year. And of course, the MVP Jimmy Butler makes it on an all-NBA first team. Let's see if we have any more selections here, and it looks like we do not. And we don't get anyone on an all-defensive team either, but that is alright. We ended this season being the number 1 seed, winning 76 games and losing only 6. I was hoping for us to win Jimmy Butler an MVP throughout this video, and thankfully we did. Before we start simulating the playoffs, here is the player stats for our team. So of course, the leading scorer was the MVP Jimmy Buckets, averaging 30 points per game, 23.5 from Jamal Murray, 18 from Kevin Love, 15 from Tatum, and 14 from Hassan Whiteside. And be prepared for what I'm about to show you also. We all know that Stephen Curry joined the Brooklyn Nets last free agency. Another huge player joined their team. That is LeBron James. Now the Brooklyn Nets have a duo of LeBron James and Stephen Curry. That is absolutely insane. I just could not believe it when I seen that. But now let's go to the playoffs. In the first round, we will be taking on the Indiana Pacers. They have themselves Jeff Teague, Luke Kennard, Paul George, Thaddeus Young, and Miles Turner. Let's see how we do here in the first round. Game number 1 will go to us. Jimmy Buckets dropping 39, Murray with a 27-point double-double. We also go on to win game 2, we win game 3, and we sweep the Indiana Pacers. Let's go. So far here in the playoffs, Jimmy is averaging 30 points per game, and Murray is averaging nearly 30 points per game himself. And of course, in the second round of the playoffs, we have to take on this crazy duo of Stephen Curry and LeBron James. They also have themselves Karis LeVert, Michael Beasley, and Brook Lopez. They were the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Let's see if we can defeat them here in the second round. Game number 1 will go to us. Jimmy with 35, 21, and 11 from Kevin Love. We also go on to win game 2, we win game 3, and we did not sweep the Brooklyn Nets, but we do end up gentlemen sweeping them. Okay. I was honestly pretty scared of the Brooklyn Nets now that they have LeBron James and Curry, but thankfully we do end up eliminating them in game 5. Looks like once again we will be taking on the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. They are the defending NBA champs. They still have Isaiah Thomas, Jaylen Brown, Kyle Kuzma, Al Horford, and Jay Crowder coming off of their bench, Terry Rozier as well. Let's see how things go this time around. Game number 1 goes to us. Jimmy with 26, 21, and 10 from Murray. Can we also go on to win game 2? And yes, we can. Okay, so Murray drops 39 points here, 20 from Butler. Game number 3 will go to us, and we go on to sweep the Boston Celtics, the same team that eliminated us last year. Now in the finals, we're either going to be taking on the Denver Nuggets or the Clippers, and it will be Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. And they also have Russell Westbrook. Holy cow. They have 2 triple-double players on their team, Russ and Nikola Jokic. This is going to be insane. They also have Beasley, Chandler, and Kenneth. Let's see how things go here in the finals. Game number 1 will go to us. Butler drops 39 points to get us this game, winning by 10 points. Game number 2, we also go on to win. Butler with 36, we win 119 to 104. We also win game 3, and yes, we can. Butler dropping 31 points here, we win 122 to 105. Are we going to go on to sweep the triple-double Kings? Let's see if we can make that happen, and yes, we will, to win Jimmy Butler and the Chicago Bulls a championship with the MVP, the regular season MVP, also winning the finals MVP, averaging 34 points per game. And that is what I'm talking about. I will be running it back another season. Let's see if we can go out there and win ourselves a back-to-back championship. But before that, here are the player stats. We played a total of 17 games, and in those 17 games, our leading scorer was the Finals MVP Butler, averaging 30 points per game, 25 from Murray, and 17 from Kevin Love. And here are the NBA Finals stats: 34 from Butler, 21 from Murray, and 15 from Tatum. And this offseason, something insane may happen. We might lose Hassan Whiteside and Kevin Love in free agency. The both of them will be free agents. I do hope we have enough money to re-sign them. I would also like to give a huge shout out to my boy AR Hill 55. The Bulls are his favorite team, and I know you're enjoying this video, so a huge shout out to you, my bro. We did have ourselves a 30th overall pick, so I went ahead and drafted ourselves Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Team player options, it looks like Kevin Love declines his player option and Hassan Whiteside will accept, so that means Hassan Whiteside will remain on our team. Of course, I'm going to pick up the team option for Jamal Murray, Tatum, and Derek White. Let's see if we have bird rights on Kevin Love, which I do hope we do, and yes we do, so we could re-sign ourselves Kevin Love. He wants about $26 million, and whoa, Bobby Portis Jr. wants $20 million himself. I'm definitely not going to be offering him that. Hopefully he accepts the qualifying offer. But for Kevin Love, I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 4-year deal, paying him $25 million annually, so that will total out to a 4-year, $100 million contract. Michael Carter-Williams, we don't need him on this team, so I'm not going to bring him back, and it looks like Kevin Love will be accepting on a 4-year, $100 million contract. Let's go. And I completely forgot about Joe Ingles. He is also a free agent. He was a pretty key piece for our bench unit. Currently, he has an offer from the Pacers, 3 years, $12 million. So we're going to have to up that. I'll offer him a 3-year deal, paying him $12 million, and hopefully he goes on to accept. Yes, he will, on a 3-year, $12.6 million deal. Bobby Portis just got offered a 3-year, $58 million contract from a different team, which he was ready to accept. So we're going to go ahead and match that. We will bring him back. You know what? He has been a key piece of our bench unit as our 6th man, so might as well bring him back as well. We are ready for this season, and once again, there was a lot of progression from our team. We now have 3 players 90 overall or above: Jamal Murray, Jimmy Butler, and Jason Tatum. Tatum has gone up to a 90 overall, and the same for Murray. We're going to be running with the same lineup: Murray, Butler, Tatum, Kevin Love, and Hassan Whiteside. And then off the bench, we have Bobby Portis, Capella, Derek White, and Joe Ingles. Let's simulate the first few games to see how our team does. We have 3 games. We do end up winning 2 out of the 3 games, scoring 127 points against the Pacers, where Butler had 37. Let's take a look at the system proficiency. We will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency under Doc Rivers. And now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, where hopefully we can go on to win a back-to-back championship. And at the end of this season, Jimmy Butler goes on to win a back-to-back MVP, this season averaging 26 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals on 55% from the field. Ja Morant, Rookie of the Year, Eric Bledsoe, 6th man, Giannis, Defensive Player, Colin Sexton, Most Improved, Doc Rivers, Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive of the Year. MVP Jimmy Butler makes it on an all-NBA first team. Let's see if we have any more selections, and it looks like we do not, but we do land Jimmy Butler once again on an all-defensive second team. We ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 79 games and losing only 3. That is insane. Let's take a look at the player stats for the regular season before we start simulating the playoffs. So of course our leading scorer was Jimmy Buckets, averaging 26 points per game, 22 from Tatum, 22 from Murray, and 16 from Kevin Love. And now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, who have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Malcolm Brogdon, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Dwight Howard. Alrighty, let's see if we can defeat the Milwaukee Bucks. Hopefully we're able to go on to win a back-to-back championship here in the playoffs. Game number 1 will go to us. Tatum leading the way with 30 points, Murray with a 24-point double-double, and 20 from Kevin Love. Game number 2 will also go to us. Murray dropping 43 points, 14 assists, and hitting 11 out of his 17 three-pointers that he's attempted, 36 from Tatum and 27 from Butler. Game number 3 will go to us, and we go on to sweep the Milwaukee Bucks. So far here in the playoffs, Jimmy Butler is averaging 26 points per game, 30-point double-double from Murray, and Tatum is averaging 30 points per game himself. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Brooklyn Nets once again, and of course, they still have Stephen Curry and LeBron James. They do have Karis LeVert, who has gone up in overall since last year, Brook Lopez and Cameron Payne coming off their bench, as well as Jarrett Allen. This is actually a pretty stacked team, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see how things go. Game number 1 will go to us. Butler dropping 33, 21, and 14 from Murray. Game number 2 will go to us, as does game 3, and we go on to sweep LeBron James and Stephen Curry to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And for the third year in a row, we will be taking on the Boston Celtics, who this time have themselves Isaiah Thomas, Lonnie Walker, Jaylen Brown, Kyle Kuzma, and Al Horford, and this is their bench unit. Let's see if we're able to defeat them once again like last year. Game number 1 will go to us. Butler with 25, Tatum with a 22-point double-double. We also win game 2, we win game 3, and we go on to sweep the Boston Celtics. It looks like we will be taking on the Utah Jazz here in the NBA Finals. They have themselves George Hill, James Harden, Carmelo Anthony, Derek, and Rudy Gobert. And honestly, this is actually a really good team. Their bench unit isn't the best, but their starting lineup is pretty elite. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will go to us. Butler with 25, Murray with 24. Game number 2, we also going to win. Tatum with 31, 22 from Butler. Let's see if we can win game 3 as well. And yes, we can. Butler dropping 36 and 17 from Tatum. Since there wasn't no gameplay in this video so far, let's jump into Simcast and jump in the game in the 4th quarter and see how this team would be playing. So we are up by quite a bit, and it looks like we will be winning this game, but let's slow this down a little bit to jump in and get some gameplay. 1:14 remaining. They are starting to push back a little bit. We're up by 6 points. And of course, one of our players has fouled out, and that sadly is Jason Tatum. But that is alright. Let's call a timeout and sub in the rest of our players. Alright, so I subbed in as many starters as I can, and it looks like the ball is being inbounded by our team. It goes to Jamal Murray. Let's see what he does with a ball here. Kevin Love is trying to set a screen, but Murray is not going around it for some reason. He just continues to dribble out to Derek White, guarded by James Harden. Murray out to Jimmy Butler for the 3-pointer, and Butler sadly goes on to miss. And now we have George Hill to James Harden. He goes for the 3. He also goes on to miss. Rebound by Kevin Love. Derek White running up, guarded by James Harden, and he makes the 2-point layup. Let's go. Derek White with a 2-pointer, putting us up by 8 points. Harden guarded by Derek White. Let's see what he does here. He is turning around, trying to drive up with it. Can Derek White continue guarding him? And he does. Okay, so amazing defense from Derek White, forcing James Harden to miss that shot. Now we have Jimmy Butler. Not sure who he's guarded by. I believe that's Carmelo Anthony if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what Jimmy Buckets does. Out to Jamal Murray. I would like for Jimmy Buckets to get a bucket, but okay, Jamal Murray with a tough 3-pointer. Well, he was fully contested. It looks like that is game. We end up winning by 11 points to win the Chicago Bulls and Jimmy Butler a back-to-back championship. And there you have it, Jimmy Butler being handed the NBA championship trophy. That is what I'm talking about, Jamal Murray and Jimmy Buckets. And it looks like Jimmy Butler goes on to win Finals MVP. And that was an amazing playoff run to win a back-to-back championship. But before I end out this video, let's take a look at the player stats for the playoffs. So we played a total of 16 games, and in those 16 games, Jimmy Butler was our leading scorer, averaging 27 points per game while shooting 56% from the field, 25 from Murray, and 24 from Tatum. And now that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 rebuilds. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.